Good afternoon, guys. It's Nick at Optima PS. Thanks very much for coming back to see me again. It's always a pleasure to have you. I really am grateful for those of you who've come along and shown some support to the channel. As ever, if anyone would like to support the channel, if you would like to at least let me know you like what I have to say, please do a like and subscribe to the channel. That's always really much appreciated. Today's video, I wanted to talk about a concept we use an awful lot in the financial advice industry, or in the research side of things when I'm researching investments for clients. It's what I call best in class. On that note, I did just want to say I am a financial advisor. As you're all aware by now, I am absolutely not your financial advisor. Trust me, you'd know if I was becoming your financial advisor, there'd be a whole bunch of paperwork to sign and a multitude of other things. So until that point, I'm definitely not. And if I'm not your financial advisor, you should absolutely not take anything I say or do in this video as me giving financial advice. It's just a guy on the internet like you sharing an opinion and hopefully sharing some information you might find useful to bring value to your day. In that respect, let's get back to what I was saying. So I'm talking about best in class now. Best in class is a concept that we use a lot when we're researching investments for people. There's an awful lot more that goes into it than just choosing what I call best in class. But it's one of those concepts we use an awful lot. And it's one of the reasons I have absolutely no concerns whatsoever about the price of XRP, about what other people out there in the sector say about XRP. Everyone's opinion is valid. I'm not saying that your opinion isn't valid, but in the same respect, I don't think the opinions of the masses will have a huge impact on something as well run as Ripple, and as such on something that Ripple is going to use as their native asset, XRP. So with that, what do I mean? Well, the first things first is that I think Ripple had a master plan from day one. They knew how to conduct business, they knew that their product was the best, and they knew how to go about ensuring it became and remained the best in the asset class. So let's take a little look at this. So this is just Wikipedia. It's nothing more in depth than that. It tells us a little bit about Ripple. It was first conceived by Ryan Fugger in 2004. After working on a local exchange trading system in Vancouver, the intent was to create a monetary system that was decentralized and could effectively empower individuals and communities to create their own money. Fugger later built the first iteration of this system at ripplepay.com, and then concurrently in May 2011, Jed McAleb began developing a digital currency system in which transactions were verified by consensus among members of the network rather than by the mining process used by Bitcoin. And in August 2012, Jed McAleb hired Chris Larson, one of those best in class people I'm going to talk about soon, and they approached Ryan Fugger with their digital currency idea, and after discussions, basically, there was a collaboration there. They co-founded a corporation called OpenCoin. As most of you know, OpenCoin went on to become Ripple Labs. In terms of when I say best in class, how did they go about that? Well, the first thing they did was begin hiring people like Brad Garlinghouse. Brad came a little bit later down the line, in fact, but he's a great place to start, a great example. We all know who he is. We've all seen him speak. We see how articulate he is when he talks. We know that Brad is best in class. A quick look here at his LinkedIn profile. If you take a scroll down, you can see there he hasn't accepted my my request to connect yet. But if you scroll down a little bit further, it tells you a bit about Brad. So obviously, we know he's been 9 years with Ripple now. Before that, though, we see he was at Animoto, Tonic Health, Ancestry.com, Hightail. You can see all his experiences here, AOL, Silver Lake, Yahoo. The guy has been there and done it with some of the biggest and best organizations, and probably more importantly, a lot of these organizations are information technology online based. So we see an awful lot about Brad Garlinghouse. We know when I say best in class, he's been there and done it at the highest level. But it wasn't just, you know, executives like Brad, people that are going to come in from the business side of things. They also wanted the best technical minds in the planet. They went on to recruit the best cryptographers and programmers, literally the best technical minds on the planet. I'm not such a technically minded person, so I'm taking other people's information on this, other people's suggested, you know, information on this, people that the top guys in the world will turn around and talk about being the best in class. But let's take a look at David Schwarz. He's the CTO at Ripple now. We all know David. Joel Katz is what he tends to go by. But we all know David Schwarz. He's the Chief Technical Officer. If you take a look down at David's experience before Ripple, yeah, he was Chief Cryptographer before CTO, but he was at Webmaster. He was at Worldwide Internet Solutions. He's been there and done it, so much so that there was a very famous tweet that went out a few years ago by John McAfee. He quickly deleted it, so I don't know if that tells you good, bad, or ugly. I'm not sure quite what you think about that. But we know John had his troubles, but he also was an incredibly smart guy. I don't think there are many people that would argue he was one of the smartest people in an incredibly smart sector. And John came out at one point in time and he said Satoshi is and always has been the only person it ever could be. At Joel Katz, the time is now. Now, he did go on and quickly delete this, but in the same respect, he said it. And if he said it, there was a reason why he said it. Whether that reason was because he was certain it was, or whether he was just insinuating there was only one person he felt was smart enough and you know, knowledgeable enough to be that guy, I don't know. He has also suggested that Satoshi was a combination of people, of which Joel Katz, David Schwarz was definitely one in his opinion as well. We'll never know, is the honest answer. But in the same respect, we can be certain that if people like John McAfee feel that David Schwarz is smart enough to perhaps be Satoshi Nakamoto, then he's definitely one of the top brains on the planet when it comes to programming, cryptography, that kind of thing. So again, it shows you Ripple have gone out there and hired the best in class in order to be sure that they succeed in their goal, which we all know what their goal is. They went on, they built relationships with the biggest global institutions. I'll move on to that a little bit later. In more recent times, they have the best in class when it comes to legal minds, things like this. I'll move on to Stu Alderotti. Everyone, again, you know the name now. We see him an awful lot on social media. He's the guy that is fighting the fight on our behalf, or on Ripple's behalf. The two things come together in my mind. But he's also the guy that we see him on social media. He gives us updates. He tells us what's going on in that world. Let's take a look at Stu's his history, really. So, Chief Legal Officer at Ripple since January 2009. He was General Counsel at CIT. He was General Counsel at HSBC. He was Managing Counsel at American Express. Going back there, it tells you a little bit more about the law firms he worked before. We don't need to see all that. But that's one hell of a CV, guys. When it comes to legal officers, legal counsels, that's one hell of a CV. This guy has been there and done it for the biggest financial institutions. He's exactly the guy you want at hand. And that's what Ripple do. They go out, they find the best in class, and they make sure that they have those people on board so that no matter what life throws at them, they are staffed in a position that they are the best equipped to deal with any problem we have. Such a problem as the SEC deciding to throw the book at you and try to claim you've been selling unregulated securities, when most of us are in agreement they never were. But it's just a great example. This was all there. They were ready for this. They were prepared for this. They were certain that they were going to be able to beat anything that was thrown at them. From the very, very start of that lawsuit, you had Brad coming out saying, we're going to fight this all the way. We don't think we've done anything wrong, and we're going to prove it. I think now we're almost in agreement that it's been proven. XRP is absolutely not in and of itself a security, and the charges against Brad and Chris were dropped. We're now at that final point when it comes to seeing how much Ripple will pay. There will be a fine to pay, I'm sure there will. They've come back and suggested a $10 million fine, as opposed to the SEC's $1.95 billion ridiculous thing. I suspect the fine will be a little bit more than 10 million, but certainly not anywhere near the $1.95 billion the SEC are after. It will be something perfectly absorbable by Ripple. But again, that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm just here to say they've gone for the best in class. You know, I move on and I say things like the partnerships they have. This is just something from the Daily Hodl. It talks about the partnerships that various institutions actually in this article have, but this particular section is about Ripple. ING, Barclays, BBVA, SBI Holdings, Kuwait Finance House, Bank of Thailand, AIRS, Deloitte, Credit Suisse, Standard Chartered, Al Rajhi Bank, Bank of America, Bank of England, MUFG, RBC, Samsung, Santander, American Express, MoneyGram, Western Union, SCB, NBK, CME Group, Mizuho, UBS, Aon Bank, Scotiabank, PNC, UniCredit, Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. And this is old, by the way. This is not nearly as many as we expect. I think most of these will be released very soon as a sort of buy point of this lawsuit, and we'll get to see exactly who Ripple have been working with or going to work with. Once this comes to an end, once the fine has been paid, once both sides are in agreement that whatever debt is being owed has been paid, and everyone walks away happy to a certain degree. I think Ripple will be a lot happier than the SEC, but when everyone agrees that there is no further they can go, or perhaps it will go the other way and it will have to come down to Judge Torres. But whatever happens with this, we will find a situation emerges where these big institutions that are in partnership with Ripple are able to work with Ripple, and will very, very quickly see that green light go on, and these people will move forwards. In terms of what we'll see, I don't know. I suspect it will be almost every major institution on the planet has a link in some way or form to Ripple. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to use XRP and Ripple as their one and only partner in the crypto world. I severely doubt that. It's more about the fact that they have the option to and the ability to. And Ripple has made sure they are best placed by hiring best in class, by being best in class when it comes to this side of things. They're going to make sure that by the time this green light is flicked on, the switch is flipped, or whatever you want to say, however you want to look at it, they are the best positioned company for all these institutions to want to work with. Like I say, I don't think there'll be exclusivity or anything like that. I think it will just be a case of saying, look, we can work with everybody. We're going to choose to work predominantly with Ripple because Ripple offer us the best solution. And that's where I think we're going to be. They will win the lawsuit. It may not be a truly 100% legal victory, but from an operational point of view, it will absolutely be a victory. They will emerge in the position with a fine. I don't know what that fine will be, but they will come out of it with absolute legal clarity and that green light to join all of these pieces of the puzzle together. If you take a look at people do spider web diagrams and things of how all these institutions link up with either Ripple or various partners of Ripple, various companies that Ripple have acquired over the previous few years. All of this ties together almost, to excuse the pun, in a blockchain. It comes together perfectly. You can see how it's going to work. You can see how all these pieces join together, and Ripple is sat there in the middle as a fundamental part of all of this. Now, I can't tell you what that will do to the price. I can tell you for absolute certain it means the price will go up. Up from a very low point right now. I agree, there's lots of frustration in the market. There's lots of people who are not happy with the price action of recent times. I get it. I do. I sympathize. I understand. But I can tell you the price will go up. And in my opinion, it will go up spectacularly from here. Will that be 5x, 10x, 100x, 1000x? I don't know. I suspect all of those things as time goes by, but whether or not those timescales coordinate with your own personal timescale is up to you. I've positioned myself that I will be very, very happy if we get a 10x return from this. I'm an old school investment guy. 10x return on your money is a sensational return. I don't care what anyone says. And it would be life-changing to me if I saw a 10x. It wouldn't be life-changing in the sense we all mean when we say that phrase, life-changing wealth. But it would pay my mortgages off. That would change my life. It would make me a couple $1,000, $3,000, I think, every month better off. Probably £3,000 actually better off. That would be life-changing for me. Whether it would be life-changing for everyone out there, I don't think so. And that's not what I mean when I mean life-changing. I want $10 million from this or something like that. I don't think I'll get $10 million this time. But I certainly think if I'm patient and I wait, if I don't trade, I don't sell high, buy back in low and things like this, if I just closed my eyes for the next 10 years and I opened them, I think my holdings would be worth a significant amount of money. But that's maybe not what I'll do. Don't take that as financial advice. I don't want everyone closing their eyes for 15 years and not looking. But that's what the whales do, right? We see on Whale Alert and things like this all the time. Oh, some guy's just reopened his his account for the first time in 15 years, 10 years, 9 years, 7 years, whatever that number might be. This particular wallet has just opened and moved money back onto the blockchain, into an exchange, whatever it might be. People do, I'm not saying that's the best thing to do. It's up to you how you want to manage your holdings. But realistically speaking, if I were to wait patiently, I think I will see 100x on my value of XRP. That would be a good day for me. I'd be very, very happy. It may not happen this bull market, but the price will certainly go up. So I'm waiting for that. Listen, I'm 16 minutes in. I don't want to go on too much more. Hopefully you liked and understood what I said today. It's more about just showing you that this isn't all about technical analysis or price action. Hiring the best in class, making sure that Ripple is best in class when it comes to the company and what they want to offer is exactly what's important here. You can see here the number of transactions to go through on a daily basis, and here, well, this is every second you see these going through. Stable coins, fiat coins, XRP ledger, others. But these are all transactions to do with XRP, not just buying, selling, whatever you want to look at, exchanging, things like that. But realistically speaking, these numbers are incredibly low right now. We're going to see these ridiculously higher than this as time goes by. But that's not today's conversation. Today's conversation is telling you what I look for, the fundamentals when it comes to choosing investments are no different in the crypto world as they are in the traditional finance space. You look for best in class. And best in class, in my opinion, is Ripple. Best in class when it comes to the recruitment is Ripple. Best in class when it comes to the native asset is XRP and Ripple. I hope you liked what I said today, guys. If you do, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It's really, really appreciated. I'm incredibly grateful for all the support you've shown me so far. I'm going to let you go today. I wish you all the best. Happy trading, happy investing. I'll speak to you all again soon. Thanks and all the best.